everybody, welcome to DunnZWorld. If you're new, in which I know a lot of you are, just bring it in. Bring it in. Bring it in. Give you a kiss, and I'm gonna give you a hug. Welcome, you'll love it here. And if you're coming back, welcome back, fam. What's going on? How y'all doing? So today I'm going to talk about the overseas contracting hiring process. I know a lot of people want to know a lot more about this. I know a lot of people aren't too knowledgeable on it or even know what to do or what happens or even where to apply at. So I'm gonna hip y'all to a couple of companies and I'm gonna give y'all the process and everything you gotta do. So first things first, you have to make sure that your resume is top tier. Your resume needs to literally list and name off all of your credentials, all of your certs, everything. Pay someone to do it or watch a YouTube video on how to do it, but whatever you do, make sure that your resume is top notch. Next thing, when you're applying for these jobs, right? There are a couple of websites and I'm gonna give you some companies that you can apply to when it comes to overseas contracting. Now, before I give you that, I'm gonna just name off a couple of locations of where these contracts are. You have some in Germany, you have some in Africa, you have some in Korea, Japan, Kuwait, Iraq, where else? There's contracts all over. You even have contracts in the US. Now, those websites that you can go to, in which these are the names of the companies that you can apply to go overseas. Within the drop-down box, they'll have CONUS or OCONUS. So you're gonna wanna choose OCONUS because those are the locations of jobs that are held overseas. So I'm gonna list off about 5 companies that I can think of off the top of my head because there's so many. Number 1, there's KBR, in which that's a very popular one. Number 2 is GDIT, that is a good one as well. There's Vectrus, there's Amentum, and then what's another one? Floor. See, Floor or Flower, but it's FLUOR. I'm gonna post this either in my description or I'm gonna put it over here, something. You can apply, go on those companies. You can even apply through LinkedIn. You can apply through Glassdoor. You can apply on the actual company's websites. And what you do is once you apply at these positions, what you're gonna do is you're gonna go on LinkedIn, you're gonna look up those companies on LinkedIn, and then you're gonna look for their hiring managers and supervisors and so on and so forth, because they're gonna have their title descriptions on LinkedIn, and just reach out to them, give them a brief description of who you are, what you applied for, and 9 times out of 10, they're gonna get back with you. Now, a lot of these individuals, supervisors, managers, sometimes their accounts are private to where you gotta send them a message before they accept you. But needless to say, just give them a good introduction, like I said, of who you are, what you applied for, and they'll get back with you. So you do that and you receive an email because you got the job. You got the job, you receive an email, so they're gonna send you an offer letter. The offer letter is gonna give you a breakdown of job title, the responsibilities and duties of that job title, as well as the pay. So the pay is thoroughly broken down. Now, with that said, you have a decision of either 1, to accept, or 2, to decline. Some jobs require security clearance, not all do, but the ones that do require security clearance, they do tend to pay more. Now, let's move on, let's take it on back a little bit. So you got the job, you got the offer letter, you accepted it, everything looks good, the pay looks good. So then what they're gonna do is they're gonna start the hiring process. You're gonna go through a series of different appointments. You're gonna go through, you're gonna go get your blood drawn, you're gonna take a piss test, you're gonna do for one, they're gonna ask if you have any type of medical issues or disabilities or anything. And it's key. This is a gem. Is be honest. Do not lie on the paperwork, because whenever they go through your medical records, they're gonna find out. So I've seen numerous of people, and I've even heard stories of people who have lied and said, oh, they put whatever on it and then they didn't get hired. So, and honestly, that's actually one of the ways of how your offer letter can be resigned. Like, they can take it back, basically. So be honest on the paperwork, because they're basically going to give you a medical questionnaire and ask you, do you smoke? Do you have any VA disability? Do you have cancer? Just a series of different questions. So then from there, they're going to have you sign a release form for your medical records so that they can review and make sure that you meet all the requirements and qualifications to deploy to go overseas, because there is a specific guideline that you have to be in health-wise, medical-wise, in order for them to deploy you. Sometimes it's a case by case. Sometimes you're able to get a waiver for certain things, but it depends. Depending on whatever company that you apply for, they will have a breakdown of what these medical disqualifications are based on symptoms and diagnoses and all that stuff. So it's good to look into that as well. So you got your blood work, you took your piss test, you signed the medical questionnaire and filled everything out. As long as everything is good, from that, what they're going to do is they're going to fly you out to a location to where they're going to do a thorough, and I keep saying thorough, but they're going to do a thorough examination of you. Now, it's not going to be like you're getting your cavity checked or a PAP, not that thorough, but they're going to basically make sure that your vision is good, your hearing is good, dental. They're going to go through your records. They're going to make sure everything that you presented to them is set in stone, like it's legit, like it's official, it's good to go. That's over the course of a week. That process is a week, and sometimes it could be longer, like I said, if you're getting a waiver for whatever may be wrong with you. If you have sleep apnea, I know that requires a waiver, or if you have, I can't remember, certain medical diagnoses, you will have to have a waiver. So you go through that. It's called CRC. You go through that, and then everything is good to go. So you'll get your stamp, and from there, you will receive, something else too, you gotta get your TB shot. You have to get a TB shot, and I believe for the women, you have to take a pregnancy test too when you get to CRC. So everything is good to go at CRC. All your paperwork is signed. You received all the vaccinations, because you do have to get vaccinated too. And it's depending on whenever you last got vaccinated, you have to get all those vaccinations. Now, if you're up to par with all your vaccinations, you don't have much to worry about. But I know when I came out here, I had to get a lot of shots. So so you went through all that, everything's good to go, you got everything you need, they made sure you're squared away. Now it's time for you to fly out to wherever your location is that you're deploying to. Now, that, depending on wherever it is, could take a day or two. So you'll get there, they'll in-process you. I know when I first got here, we had to quarantine. I'm not sure if they're still doing quarantining across other contracts, but and that right there is a case by case too. It depends. Some companies still require you to have a COVID vaccination card, others don't. So that's just based off of the company's discretion. So you get to, boots on ground, you land in wherever country that you're deploying to. You're going to go through another in processing situation, well, not situation, but in processing, where you get your ID card. And depending on what country it is, they may want you to do another medical just because you're working in another country. So they want to make sure that you're medically healthy and okay too. So you'll go through that, and you'll go through orientation, you'll get your ID card, all that good stuff. From there, you'll go through some training. And this is, if you've been in the military, you know, whatever duty station you go to, you gotta do that same training at, like cyber awareness and all that good stuff. So you gotta do all that training. So you do that over the course. Now that training, the orientation, and you in processing is, once again, is over the course of a week. That shouldn't, or maybe 2 weeks. I'll give or take 2 weeks. And then after that 2 weeks, they'll take you to whatever section you're gonna be working in. And they'll train you whatever the battle rhythm is or whatever the focus is in that section or that department. They'll fill you in and make sure you're good to go. Now, every company's in processing and orientation process is different. That's just what I experienced. It wasn't anything bit of it was pretty good. I can't complain. I was taken care of, went about my way, and was able to. I have no idea what just happened. It's like the video just stopped recording. I think I might need to delete some photos and videos because I don't know what that was about. But anywho, my process was pretty smooth. Like I said, every company is different. So yeah, you basically just get integrated into your sections. That kind of wraps it up. And each company, hours are different. Some companies have you working 12 hours, some have you working 10, some have overtime, some don't. All the pay is different. Everything is really based off of experience and the amount of knowledge you have within that field. So whatever you're applying for, when it comes to overseas contracting, just make sure you're knowledgeable about it and make sure that you know what you're doing, because that also could be another reason that could send you right back home. Because if you don't know what you're doing, I've said this numerous of times throughout the video, but some companies are different because they may find something for you within that department or within another department that you may be good at, but just make sure you know what you're doing. I'm trying to think if I'm missing anything. Depending on where you're at, some places, they cover housing as far as, so they give you an option if you want to live within company housing or outside of company housing. You have some places, some locations where you are living on the base, a military base. Some places they will supply you with the vehicle, other contracts won't. So each contract is different, but look into different contracting jobs. You can even pull it up on Google. You can go on LinkedIn. I feel like LinkedIn is like the biggest pool with different type of individuals that work in the contracting world that you can get in contact with and that you can learn more on because of the different positions that they offer and the knowledge that you can gain, and just really networking. That's just like a networking thing. Like, you can network through Facebook, you can network through LinkedIn. That's the best thing to do when you're trying to get overseas and tap into the contracting world. This right here, what I'm about to say, is key to. This is KEYGEM. This is a key gem. So everybody is very hungry and you know, just ready to go overseas and contracting and, you know, make some money, so on and so forth, and go to these different countries. What I will say to do is you need to learn about these countries. You need to learn what their cultures are. You need to learn what to do and what not to do, because a lot of things that we do in the US, you can't do overseas. Certain countries, it's disrespectful to shake with the left hand. Other countries, it's disrespectful to shake with the right hand. Some countries they're not too fond of women being half dressed. So you just really gotta heighten your knowledge on this, you know, because it's not just about going to these countries and making money. Like, you need to understand where you're at, what you're doing, and most of all, what you're not supposed to do. For example, there is a month that a lot of the Muslims take to cleanse themselves and to pray and to fast. And during that time frame, there's no chewing gum. You can go to jail for, if any of them see you eating, no drinking, no spitting, loud music. So you just really have to be aware of that. And I'm not too knowledgeable on other countries. I am when it comes to the Middle East, because I've been deployed before and I'm in the Middle East again. So, you know, I'm familiar with this. But just make sure that you know, okay? Because it is way too easy for them to throw an American into jail, and 9 times out of 10, that's what they be looking to do, because they know Americans have money. So just broaden your horizon when it comes to learning about these countries as well as their cultures. That wraps up this video. So if there's anything I missed, anything you want to learn more about, anything else you want to know, drop it in the comments. Make sure you tap that bell notification so that you're in the loop when I post another video. And until next time, peace.
Come on, but you want me home.